Welcome to Corvette Today, the podcast that talks about everything Corvette, with your host Steve Garrett, MC and DJ at one of the largest Corvette weekends in the country, Corvette Fun Fest, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 40 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google" or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. Be sure and visit the updated Corvette Today website. It's corvettetoday.com. You can also access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join the Corvette Today Facebook group there and sign up for Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at corvettetoday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, you can subscribe to the Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube. And be sure and patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 different unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvettes. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit aerolarri.com, that's AEROLARRI.com, and use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. Also, midenginecorvetteforum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at midenginecorvetteforum.com. And a shout out to Corvette Forum and Canadian CorvetteForum.com, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. My guest on today's show is a legend in Corvette production-based racing. His legendary attention to detail made him a winner. As a matter of fact, he helped Corvette sweep the SCCA sanctioned endurance races. His racing in part led to SCCA to disallow Corvettes in their races, and that led to Chevrolet creating its own Corvette Challenge races in 1988. He's Mr. Kim Baker. Kim, welcome to Corvette Today.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. And hi, I'm really happy you are letting me have the opportunity to be on your podcast.
Sir, it's an honor to have you on the show. Kim, first of all, let's talk about your childhood. Tell me where you grew up, and did you come from an automotive family?
Well, I grew up in Western Massachusetts. I had a father who was interested in automotive things, and he was a service manager at a car dealership, and he did a little bit of racing himself in the 60s and the late 50s. And then from there, I actually was interested in cars. As soon as I could physically drive, I found this Hemi-powered DeSoto and made a field car out of it. And that's actually the first thing I started in at about 12 years old, 13 years old. And then like everybody else in this business, I had mini bikes and carts and stuff like that. I'd even race my skateboard. Anything with a wheel on it would be good for racing.
That's cool. Now, tell me how you got into the racing scene then.
Well, the racing scene, I started off as soon as I got my driver's license competing in autocross racing. I did that until I think 76-ish. I actually won the national championship overall at fastest time of day in 1976 with a Formula car in SCCA Solo 2.
That's cool. You started racing for Corvette in 1984, and you purchased a new C4 and started racing SCCA in their SS category, which is showroom-stock. You won a lot, and you took a lot of SCCA national championships. Talk about the beginnings of Bakeracing and your association with Corvette.
Okay. Well, first I made an error and I started racing Fiats, which really weren't great cars. But it was successful and I got to meet a lot of people, and I actually did a lot of work for the Fiat factory and Bertoni and Pininfarina. Those are all great people that ran those companies. They were fantastic. But in 84, per the advice of somebody, says, get a Corvette. So I got a Corvette and spent basically all the money I had at the time. That was 1984. Bought a new Z51 Corvette, drove it home, prepared it, and went to a race a few days later. And I think I won every single time out with that car in national racing, and then finally won the national championship at the end of the year. And then I did meet other people. I met this person. His name was Bernie Finkel. He's a really fantastic, great guy. He had a Corvette magazine back at the time. He bought me a Corvette. He met me. I won the race at Pocono, and he was sponsoring that race partially. We struck it off, and he decided he wanted to contribute a Corvette. So that was the Corvette I used. I've had tremendous luck that way.
That's amazing. Now, in 1985, Kim, you ran in the SCCA Pro Endurance Cup Series, winning the last 2 races of the year, and that was at Lime Rock in Mid-Ohio. Isn't that correct?
That's exactly right. We started the season. There were 6 races in all. The first 4 races, we had really misjudged how competitive it would be. It was really quite competitive. It was pretty professional. For those last 2 races, I spent more money and really went all out, and we dominated those 2 races pretty well. We had the best pit stops, the best fuel economy, the best fuel utilization, and the fastest car. So it was pretty easy. And at Mid-Ohio, also the pit stops, we had a really good pit crew, and our pit stops are much faster than everybody's, and pretty much controlled that race from lap 1 to the final lap.
That's really cool. Now, in 1985, you won $50,000 twice from Goodyear and did power development and durability testing for Corvette Engineering as well, and you did tire testing for Goodyear. Isn't that correct?
That and some more things. But yeah, we did all that. And it was really great. Goodyear was a fantastic supporter of the sport and really motivated you to try and go out and win those races. They ended up giving out, because there were other tire companies involved, so they gave out that $50,000 3 times that year. We got it twice.
Wow.
Talking about tires, that's one of the things that really made the series good. We had Goodyear, BF Goodrich, General Tire, Yokohama, and maybe somebody else I forgot. And they all supported their own teams over the period. Sometimes I think we had 2 tire companies in 85, and then in 86 and 87, they all jumped in. Tire wars are the greatest thing because they pay for the testing so teams can go test and be more professional, and they support the teams financially. They supply the tires, and then they get great advertising if you win. It's a win for everybody, and it really is what separates what I call really professional racing and hobby racing.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, you also had a number 5 car. Let's talk about the number 5 car and why that vehicle was so important.
Okay. In 86 and 87, I used 4 and 5. The sprint races, we concentrated on running the number 4 car as the lead car, and the 5 was the backup car. When I got to the 24-hour races, I was trying to conserve the number 4 car so it would be all ready for the next race after the 24. So we would put the number 5 would be labeled number 4 car. It's the different car. But the number 5 car was a very successful car in its own right and won 24-hour races.
Very cool. Well, Kim, let's take our first break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about the start of Bakeracing and your association with Goodyear here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft will help you take your Corvette to new levels. Wheelcraft offers the world's best PVD chrome finish available on the market. Available in bright chrome and black chrome. Wheelcraft nails it in both appearance and durability. And it comes with a 5-year warranty against brake dust burns, pitting, peeling, and color delamination. Wheelcraft is also ISO certified. Whether you're having your wheels refinished or an exchange transaction, there is no core fee, no deposit, and you don't pay for the finished wheels until they are installed on your car. Wheelcraft insists on complete satisfaction before you pay. Hear from one of our customers.
I picked up a brochure at the National Corvette Museum when we took delivery of our new C8. I called Wheelcraft, and in 15 minutes, I ordered the new bright ice chrome wheels. Wheelcraft's follow-up and follow-through is superb. The wheels arrived on Sunday, installed on Monday, and cores were returned same day. The wheels are the highest quality I've ever seen, and they look awesome. Great prices, great customer service from initial contact to installation.
Thanks, Dennis from Nashville. In many cases, Wheelcraft offers finished wheels on exchange or will apply this new finish to your wheels. Either way, Wheelcraft treats your wheels as their own. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call us at 833-840-5334. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The Radiator Grill Store offers protection for your C8's front radiators and side intakes. They also carry front strut tower covers to prevent rusting and pooling water, all with do-it-yourself installation. Get 10% off your total purchase with promo code CT10. See the full line of products at radiatorgrillstore.com.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
American Hydrocarbon is your one-stop shop for custom interior, exterior, and engine bay items for your C4 through C8 Corvette. We can help you create a custom look for your Corvette with carbon fiber or 10 different color patterns and styles. Whether it's a custom-made engine cover for your new C8 or custom-made C4 interior upgrades, American Hydrocarbon can help you transform your Corvette into a best-in-class show car. And now we're proud to announce that we can produce and distribute officially licensed GM products for the C8 Corvette, including front splitters, side skirts, engine appearance panels, engine fluid caps, door holders, trunk and front props, and more. Plus, we now carry the C8 Speedline side skirts, along with the engine appearance package and the high wing. Give us a call at 813-476-5638. Visit our updated website at AmericanHydrocarbon.com or email us at pat@AmericanHydrocarbon.com. Make your Corvette the car you've always wanted it to be with American Hydrocarbon.
And now, back to the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today, with your host, Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit Wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit Wheelcraft.com or call them at 833-840-5334. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is legendary Corvette Racing, Kim Baker. In this second segment, we're going to talk about the beginnings of Baker Racing and his association with Goodyear. Kim, in 1986, Baker Racing became a Goodyear-sponsored team, and you did the tire testing for them. We talked about that a little bit in the first segment. This is kind of amazing because they also gave you a Corvette too, didn't they?
They did. The Corvette they gave me was for the following season because we won the championship in 86. I'll try to do it a little more chronologically, but in 86, since we were the dominant Goodyear team, we became their sponsored team. It was a great relationship because we helped them with the tire development. We would test tires before each race, and we were also doing lots of test work for GM on various components of the car. That was a win-win for everybody. We shared time. We did Goodyear testing and Chevrolet testing at the same time, and also testing for the race team. It worked out really great. They developed better and better tires.
Now, Baker Racing also built engines for other teams. What other teams did you build engines for?
Oh, at various times, we would supply engines to Morrison, Cook, or Morrison, depending on what year it was. They were known as both, and Powell and Sanchez Brothers.
You won 4 of 6 races in the SCCA Pro Endurance events. Now, at the end of the season, after winning the championship team, the drivers, and the manufacturers and car manufacturers, Goodyear held a great big ceremony in Baker Racing's honor and awarded you with a brand new Corvette and a larger racing sponsorship for the 87 season. Wow, that's very cool.
And we really appreciate that still to this day. And it was a great ceremony. We had the ceremony in the building that they build the blimps in. It was the largest free-span building in the world. And they filled it up with motoring press and people from GM and people from Goodyear. I got to sit next to the CEO of Goodyear, and he's the one who presented us with the prizes. So it was an extremely fun time.
That had to be a great time. Kim, in 1987, you continued to dominate the U.S. Pro Endurance Championship. You won 5 out of 7 races with no mechanical DNFs, which is did not finish. And overall, you won 10 of 19 races, which is simply amazing. Corvette was dominating the SCCA, which prompted Lotus, Porsche, and other highbrow teams to scream about the Corvette dominance. So Chevrolet created the Corvette Challenge Series. It was nothing but Corvettes with big prize money, right?
87 was what I consider our most successful year and most interesting year, and the preparation of the car was fantastic. Every single race we went to, we just assumed the races won because we knew we had the best of everything. We had the best drivers, we had the best crew, we had the best strategist, we had the best performance around corners, braking, acceleration. we had. Most importantly, the pit stops were super fast. The fuel mileage was the best. One interesting thing there, like the Mosport 24-hour, the car got in an accident, a pretty good accident, hit the guardrail, bent everything on one of the front suspensions. There was a yellow flag, a long yellow flag, and we made 5 pit stops and retained the lead because every time it would be a yellow flag, we'd come in, get back out, catch back up, come back in, fix another bit of the car, go back out. And then after those 5 pit stops, the car was just as quick as it was before the accident.
That's amazing. Also, this is pretty amazing as well. In 88 and 89, because of your dominance in the SCCA Pro Endurance Championship, you were asked not to compete in that series, and instead you pre-tested cars and tires. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a team that was asked to not participate.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I could fill other functions that were probably pretty valuable to them. So I think it worked out for everybody, worked out for me. One thing I haven't really told many people, after the end of that 87 series, I was actually offered the position of being the Porsche team for this kind of racing. I thought about it, and I consulted Goodyear too and decided I'd stay with Corvette out of loyalty, even though I wasn't having the fun of racing like I would like to. That's another little tidbit.
That's cool. Now, you had a real special relationship with Zora Arkus-Duntov. Talk more about Zora and other GM engineers that you work with, like Dave McClellan.
You know, most of the GM engineers we worked with were geniuses and racing enthusiasts. Dave McClellan, he was really behind everything in this type of Corvette racing because it was run by Corvette Engineering at the time. He did a great job. Actually, I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from Heimrissy. I learned a lot from Jim Miniker. They were all really good. And I met Zora after the Corvette racing because we were both hired to work on a project, a land speed record for, of all things, a Yugo. Every time I needed some mathematics or some calculations, I'd talk to Zora and he could come up with calculations and assumptions faster than anybody. He could come up with calculations that no one would even have the slightest idea how to do. It was amazing. But anyways, we built 2 Yugo cars, and one, it's the same as our regular racing type thing. One was the primary car. It had every trick in the book in it. And then the other one had all the basics in it as a backup car. And we tested it. Zora actually drove it too. We tested it at Charlotte, and the car was super fast for its category. It would have been like taking candy from a baby getting that world record. What happened was Yugo wanted to do the world record run at Charlotte for the exposure of the nice Charlotte track. I wanted to run it at one of the tire test tracks that was 7 miles long. So we compromised and we ended up going to Talladega, which was 2.6 miles long. The advantage to the super long track is you don't scrub off any speed in the corners, like at the Firestone test track in Texas, where you turn the wheel maybe 5 degrees at the most going through a corner. So it's really, you don't scrub off any speed. It's easy, it's safe. And Talladega itself, not too bad. You'll have to turn the wheel a little more and scrub maybe 1 mile an hour off. So anyways, we were there. Our tractor trailer was there. Team was there. Zora was there. The people from the press were there. Then we get a phone call, load everything up. That's when Yugo went bankrupt.
Oh, no.
There was a war in Yugoslavia and some other problems. But anyways, if it was 1 day earlier, it would have happened, I guess.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. I also want to talk about the Road and Track Manufacturers Challenge. That's a great story as well. Tell that story, too.
Yeah, that started off before I had Corvettes. I was doing work for Pininfarina and Fiat at the time. We entered it 3 times. And now the Manufacturers Challenge, Road and Track invites every car manufacturer that wants to come. And most of them do come. So Ford, Chevy, Porsche, Volkswagen, they're all there. They have their own regulations, and you have to make a pit stop. You have to have 2 drivers. So we did it, I consider it pretty professionally. Our pit stops for changing drivers and getting back out were less than 5 seconds. Some of those teams would be there for, seemed like a minute. So anyways, we won that 3 times. We competed 3 times and won it 3 times. That's where I met John Dinkle. He was the editor of Road and Track at the time. Besides being the editor of Road and Track, he's a really good engineer and a really good guy. And we became really good friends. And we did a lot of automotive things after that, too. And I also met people from all the car companies and tire companies.
Excellent. Well, Kim, let's take our final break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about your career during the 90s. We have Kim Baker with us here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With agreed value protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25. And every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
You're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit Wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit Wheelcraft.com today or call them 833-840-5334. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is Corvette racing legend Kim Baker. In this third and final segment, we're going to talk about Kim's racing career in the 90s. Kim, in the 1990s, you started racing ZR1s, which is really cool. In 91, Road and Track magazine did a Corvette special edition where they listed you as one of the 10 most important men in Corvette history. That had to be a big honor. And you also won the Bilstein Madonna Award for Racing Excellence, which is one of the most prestigious international honors that you can win for international racing. That's a big list of great honors, Kim.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, especially that Bilstein Award. I always look at it. It's still on my counter here. But as far as ZR1s go, we actually started with ZR1s in '89 pre-production testing. We did all kinds of things with those cars, long distance testing. The other arm of my company, we did endurance testing for GM on the road and on the track. Those cars were so developed and perfected. We ran one of those cars 300,000 miles on the road with a 3-driver team. It almost never stopped. We ran it 100,000 miles. Nothing went wrong. We ran it another 100,000 miles. Basically, nothing went wrong. And the car was checked over, ran another 100,000 miles. That was the beginning. Another interesting thing on testing those cars, we tested that pre-production car, which was identical to the production car, at Talladega stock, just set up the alignment for that track. It was running 186 down the straightaway, and then because it was a banked corner, it was scrubbed down to like a 181 in the corner, and the average speed was 183.6. I was testing that car at the same time Michael Waltrip was testing his NASCAR car, and we were running about the same pace.
That's amazing. Wow. Now, in 1991, you also won the Team SCCA Pro Championship, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. That was with a non-ZR1 car. I think we ran the ZR1 car at the 24-hour race at Mosport, and we won that with the ZR1 car. It was either 90 or 91 where we took that ZR1 car out. Another thing mentioning ZR1s, that were run by Morrison, ran a 24-hour endurance record run, and I was one of the drivers on that team too. And a lot of experience with ZR1s.
That's cool. Also, Kim, in 1992, you won the ZR1 24-hour Mosport and the Corvette LT1 in Lime Rock. And that was a wild race because there was a big wreck. Talk to me about what happened.
Well, at Lime Rock, it was a heck of a race because I had a little difficulty in that race, but managed to win it. And the big wreck was Paul Newman. He was running, I think, third at the time. I was running first, and another Corvette was running second, and Paul Newman was running third. He misjudged the last turn a little bit, and that's all it takes there on diving turn. Got in the dirt, got the car sideways, made a slight overcorrection, ended up crashing into both sides of the track, pretty much totaling out that Lotus that he was driving. The rest of the race, I was leading. Then what happened was actually had a fuse blow that was under a yellow flag, luckily. So I pulled over, I just yanked the first fuse I could get at and put it in that slot. So that turned out to be the radio, and I put it in a slot, and it was the fuel pump fuse that had blown. Was able to take off again, but by then I was pretty far behind in last place. So I had to fight my way back, car by car by car. 3 laps from the end, got back in the lead and won that race.
Now, also in 1995, you raced a modified street-legal ZR1, and you had 3 wins in that. You averaged 180 miles per hour and a top speed of 200 miles per hour. Man, those ZR1s could move, couldn't they?
Yeah, they could move. That particular ZR1 was a different creation, though. That one, we took out the ZR1 motor, and I put a 540 cubic inch big block Chevrolet motor in it for that event. And it was a car that evolved a little bit. I did run it 2 different seasons. Aerodynamically, the first time it wasn't right. The second year, it was absolutely perfect aerodynamically. It was an easy win at the time.
Also, your number 4 Corvette was inducted into the Bloomington Gold Great Hall in 2013. That had to be a huge, huge honor.
Yeah, every time somebody recognizes one of my Corvettes, the number 4, the number 5, it is a great honor, especially after decades, and people still remember those cars, and that's a great honor. And I get phone calls all the time, and people remember the races better than I do.
Kim, talk about what you're doing now, what your current business is, and how people can reach you if they want to reach out to you.
Well, they can contact me by email through my website. My website's vintageраcecarsales.com. And if they want to connect with me, it's kbaker@vintageраcecarsales.com. We're selling vintage race cars, as the name says, and also interesting vintage sports cars and even late model Corvettes, which is probably the only late model car I'll sell is a late model Corvette.
Kim, tell me what you think about the new Corvettes, and are you thinking about getting one?
Yeah, more than thinking about it, I did order one. February 1st was the first day you could order an E-Ray Corvette. I got my order in at 12:01, right after lunchtime, and I hope I get it soon because I'm pretty anxious.
Nice. Kim, thank you so much for taking the time to be on Corvette Today. It was an honor and a pleasure having you on the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor being recognized by you.
Thanks for listening to Corvette Today, and please be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today podcast. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit Wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit Wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. American Hydrocarbon at AmericanHydrocarbon.com, True Wealth and Company at RetireWithTrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels, get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
You've been listening to Corvette Today with Steve Garrett. If you'd like to contact Steve with any thoughts on the podcast or ideas for guests on Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. Or connect with Steve on social media on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using @SteveGarrettDJ. Thanks again for listening to Corvette Today.